Stories.
Welcome back for those who missed the first part. My name is Violet Njoki, and today we're discussing about how the hike in prices has affected businesses in one way or another. Different industries are closing down because of the different prices that go on rising on a day in, day out. And right now I'm joined by an expert, and they provide services in tech, real estate, and even business empowerment. I'm going to let him introduce himself, and then from there we can go on to see what solutions can we offer to businesses that are going to the option of closing down and how they can continue to run their businesses. Karibu sana.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. Please introduce yourself and tell us what you do.
My name is Tuva Adams Tuva. I'm the managing director for the Adams Group of Companies. We deal mostly with ICT, solutions to young SMEs, websites, hosting, software, automation, such kind of technology. And we also do, we run an arm of the business called the Business Empowerment Tools Program. So training young SMEs on how they can start, basic rules, taxes, accounting, such. So yeah, so those are our key areas. And we also have an arm which runs in real estate. So today, as we're talking about the hike in prices and how it is affecting businesses. So my first question is, a number of businesses are being affected by how the prices are hiking, and they are opting for the option of closing down. How can a business easily cushion itself from having to go to the last resort of actually closing down because of a hike in prices, maybe from the government or imports and exports and stuff like that? So depending on the kind of business you're doing, the best, you must look at it from the beginning. For a business to shut down, it means there's something which was not done properly. So the first thing I tell young entrepreneurs is to set a firm foundation. Right? So what is a firm foundation? You don't have to inquire to get costs from an office at Westlands, 100 employees. You don't need to do that.
You don't start big.
Yes, exactly. So a firm foundation means that the business is running. Is it making profit? Are the margins okay? Based on that, you scale properly. So at no point, if the business grows gradually, with no pressure, external pressure, or building on quicksand, you will not at any point get somewhere where you're forced to shut down because of expenses. Normally, businesses plan quarterly. Your expenditure for the whole year, for 2 years. Some big organizations for 5 years. So you should be able to look into the future and know that even if things are not good during this period, 3 months, 6 months, you should be able to survive. So the firm foundation to me is the most important thing.
So you've built your firm foundation, yes, and maybe your business has been running for maybe, let's give it a timeline of around 5 years. But then it gets to a point that the prices that you're being given for you to get the commodities that you need to give to your clients are becoming a bit of a hassle, and you may opt, maybe this business can't continue to run. Is there a way that an entrepreneur can find themselves and say, you know what, let me change my tactics and keep my business running, but in another way? Is there that option, or when you say your business starts to fall, it's done for?
To me, I think entrepreneurship is it's a flex game. You need to be very flexible. They say you come in with your best. You come in with your best skills. Basically, as an entrepreneur, you come in with what you, for example, for us, we're a technology company. I'm a software developer, right? So I'm a programmer. So when we came in, our core business for the longest time, for 5 years plus, was technology. So we sold domains, we sold hosting, SSL, we built websites, we built system, and that was our core business. So once that was stable, and this is we can basically predict in the next 3 months, this is what we're making, the next 6 months sort of making, is then when we diversed to real estate. So the extra money we got into tech is when we pushed into real estate. So for every entrepreneur, you need to pick your best skills first.
Yes.
And most of the time, no one can take that from you.
Yeah.
Right?
It's
so
inborn.
It's inborn, yeah.
Yes.
No one can really, if you're a singer, you're a singer, you sing, people pay you, that most probably it will not change. So for most entrepreneurs, I know the diversification bit is where trouble comes in.
Yeah.
And that's where maybe you try, and when it doesn't do well, you basically retreat. Yeah. For example, if people were going to the mask business and now we no longer need masks,
yes,
you should be able to gracefully, you know, just retreat and say, okay, fine, this phase of the business is over. What else can I do? I was making, let's say, mask using material. Can I now maybe make bags, wherever? So most entrepreneurs are very innovative. They're very bright guys. So they should be able to know, okay, this is my core business. No one can take this away from me. But as I as I grow and diversify, you shouldn't have any. You shouldn't feel shy or retreating sometimes. Yeah,
starting again.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But when let me give an example of the COVID period. A number of businesses had to shut down, and maybe a business had run for more of even over 20 years, but they had to shut down. Would you say that there was something that, or a step that they lacked in the process of building this business, and that is why they had like the last option is to close down? Mostly the hospitality business. A number of restaurants had to close down, and this was a restaurant was running for more than 10 years. Will you say there's something that they missed, that they had to know, what, let us now close down, we have no other option?
Well, from where I sit, there's some instances where the case of COVID, there's nothing really you can do. So in extreme cases, for example, war, as in everything shuts down, the whole country shut down, and there's nothing you can do. In the case of Ukraine. But for COVID-19, I think people adjusted very quickly. People, let's say in the hospitality industry, most of them reduced the numbers because you realize some hotels were depending on people from other countries. That the airports were shut down, so there's nothing. So that's why now management sits down and thinks around how do we reshape ourselves without hurting people. Right? So maybe you can reduce the salaries and say, okay, fine, you can work
around
yes,
it.
exactly. So there's some cases where there's really nothing you can do in the case of war, but I really believe that in the hospitality, people really adjusted very well. And we do have clients also in that industry who have been our clients, who had been our clients for almost 10 years, 12 years. These are people who used to pay us constantly. But when they got into that that particular phase or the particular issue, we're able to look back and say, okay, it's not intentional. They're not defaulting because
they want to.
So even us as providers, because for us maybe most of the resources are in the cloud, so it's a bit easier to maneuver, but you understand that they're not making as much as they used to, so that's where now maybe communication and try and find a balance.
So even in the hospitality business, if I may ask, there are some restaurants, we've seen some of them coming up online and saying that, you know what, I'll have to remove some of the items on the menu. Like now the price of cooking oil is at a higher price that people are like, sio lazima. So for some restaurants, they're like removing some items from their menus. And maybe this is what was attracting most of the clients to your restaurant. Is this the best option for this person, to remove these items from the menu so that they can be able to stabilize their business?
Now, this will be a case-by-case instance, because I know for sure that some hotels where an extra 1,000 bob, an extra 500 shillings will not change anyone's life. So depending on the hotel or the kind of business you are, you can tell your clients and be honest, okay, fine, this is what we used to charge, but because of ABC circumstances, we have added whatever. To me, that is the best way of handling things. And you'll be shocked that a client is able to accept an extra 1,000 bob, 1,500 bob, 2,000 bob, depending on where you are, and still maybe maintain the same service, whatever. People are okay as long as it's well explained. They're human beings, so they will be able to say, okay, fine, we understand the situation, right? And we know you're not trying to, hustle us or whatever. This is a genuine case. As long as the communication is done correctly, most people adapt very
they
quickly.
Will adjust,
yeah. As much as possible, I don't believe in completely retreating. If there's a way you could walk around it, that's basically that's basically the best solution.
Yeah. So when it comes to generally being an entrepreneur, there are requirements that you as advisors of business empowerment will advise an entrepreneur, someone who wants to come into business. Like, what are the requirements or the steps that one has to follow to ensure that your business is something that will stand even the faces of time and maybe even a worldwide pandemic like COVID? What are those requirements that you need? Is it capital? Is it licenses? Is it the business mind? What is it that you need to ensure that your business continues to run?
What I believe in and what I've used also in building some of the businesses I have is that it's a combination of passion and sustainability, right? So, and there are two schools of thought to this. Some people say you must be very passionate about a business for it to grow. Right?
Yeah, but I get that a lot. Like, it's passion that has put me here.
It's passion, There's that, and there's also a school of thought which says, you know what, you need to choose the right vehicle. Right? You realize some guys get into real estate, and another person maybe has a kibanda for mama mboga. When someone closes one deal for $100,000, that's 10 million, they can sustain themselves. This is just one deal. When on the other hand, someone needs to go to work every single morning, go to the market and do all the, I'm not saying it's bad, but different vehicles, different results. So the passion is there, but you need to find a balance to the two. So for my case, I usually look at it in two ways. Passion, as I said, our background or our base is ICT. We're never going to move from that. That is basically what we do, and we do it very well even in our sleep. So when someone is choosing a business, I usually say good profits, bad profits. You realize maybe your ISP. Your ISP will always charge you the 3,000 or 4,000 every month, whether there's a pandemic or not. You're the person who, the people who provide you with phone call, maybe telephone providers. They will always send you the invoice at the end of the month, and if you don't pay them, they whatever. So it's almost like a necessity, right? So someone in that line of business, those are good profits. They can basically say we have 16,000 subscribers, 100,000 subscribers. We know for sure, give margin 10%, 20%, they will all pay, right? On the other hand, you have a very fancy hotel, right? And people buy fish from you, whatever, but I might go there once a year, right? When I have a guest from the States, right? So do we really call that constant profit? You cannot predict that kind of income. So for me, or what we try and get into is profits which we can predict, right? We know, let's say it's low income housing, we know there's an X amount every month coming from this particular channel. If let's say it's a subscription for a domain, we expect someone to pay every year. So we can basically predict whatever we're doing. So in the same thing, the passion must be there, but you need to also sit down and say, okay, fine, am I really riding the right vehicle, right? So it's a mix of both, right? There are people like Bolt who's, it's the talent. There's no way he's moving from that. So depending where you're seated, and what you just use what God has given you.
So you see, when someone goes into business, you're like, I not be getting 100,000 at the end of the month. You should not go with that open. They like give yourself quite a big margin just in case you have something happens up So you advise that someone start thinking that is a certain amount I'll be getting. Do not give yourself the big budget that you're expecting.
I wouldn't really put it that way. What I'm saying is all businesses grow gradually.
With time.
So for example, if it's your ISP, they basically, it's cumulative. Right? So they'll pick for today, tomorrow is whatever. So that's a predictable business. Right? This other side, Mama Mboga, I don't have to buy from there every day. I might move to another location and I'll pick from another Mama Mboga. So I advise people to pick businesses which are predictable, which you can predict the future. So even if it's 1,000 shilling margin or 1,000 shilling profit, you can predict that, come next year, come next month, this is my minimum as I accumulate.
Before I let you go, I want you to give your handles and also how you can help people when it comes to business empowerment, real estate, and tech. And you can do this, Apple. Okay.
I'm on IG, Tuva Adams Tuva. I'm on Facebook, Tuva Adams Tuva. Yes, and I think maybe the best place to start for entrepreneurs, they can go to IG and get bdk.co.ke. That's the IG handle, and they can start interacting, you know, get online presence and something like that. So to me, that is normally the first step for any businesses, online presence. Yes.
And you offer training as well for business empowerment?
Yes. So through the Business Empowerment Tools program. So if you go to IG, go to BUSET.AFRICA, IG BUSET.AFRICA, you'll get the socials. Maybe you can send an inbox and someone will give you maybe the next training. We're lucky because we don't really charge the SMEs. So we sit down with other corporates and find a way of balancing the figures. So for us as Adams Group, we get our money from Bidom in Kenya because they're one of our biggest earners. So we borrow from them. They give us some bit of money and we're able to do the training. So we partner with financial institutions and some other trading guys to make sure that, you know, the young SMEs are getting here. Yes.
Thank you so much for your time once again. Well, that is all we had for you, and we've heard that you do not need to pump into your business for you to get to the next step. If that is what you're doing, then something is quite wrong, and Adams Group will offer you the solutions to your business training for that business empowerment. Well, until next week when you get to go to a business and another entrepreneur, make sure you talk to us on TV47 KE on all our platforms, or Violet Njoki on all my platforms, and tell us who do you want us to talk to next. Until then, see you soon.